What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And today I wanted to jump back into our indie comics weekend. While we still have quite a few titles from both Marvel and DC to cover, I wanted to jump back into Once and Future with issue number 2. This story that truly got me into Kieran Gillen's writing, becoming infatuated by the artwork created by both Dan Mora and Tamara Bonvillain. Now, if you are trying to check out issue number 1, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on so far. The first issue truly showing us the things of make-believe, the stories of the past, the folklore. It is all true. Questing beasts, King Arthur, and who knows how many other countless stories. Duncan had grown up his whole life completely oblivious to all of this. That is exactly how Gran, Bridgette, wanted to keep it. But now those stories have come looking for them, and they are running out of time before the world comes to an end. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we pick up with this issue with Gran having a gun to Duncan. Duncan was unwilling to take her any further after the whole questing beast situation, being taken where she wants to go. Duncan has to ask the question, what is going on? How did I not know about this whole other world? His whole life, Gran had told him that this is all make-believe, that it's not real. These are monsters of storybooks. The truth is, much of this had ended way before he was born. Bridgette hasn't had to go monster hunting in quite some time, and so the idea of him knowing this information, it would have done nobody any good. Trying to figure out what all of this means, Gran lets him know that the questing beast showed up because you are going on a quest. And while you may not understand what any of this means right now, all of this is going to come to fruition. The truth will expose itself, and in the end, you will finally understand why you were chosen and what your purpose is in all of this. Getting to the location that they need to be at, they have made it just in time. They are still within the witching hour. Going inside this door, it opens up to some kind of magical dimension. During the witching hour is the only time that you can truly pass through these doors. While there are other methods, this is the easiest and it is the quickest, safest way. Trying to track down the individuals that took that scabbard, Gran is hoping that they make it just in time. As they make their way through this weird new place, they run into 4 ladies. Ladies of the lake, to be more specific. And while they say nothing, Duncan has to wonder who these ladies are and what their real purpose is. Because remember, these stories, while they have real resemblance of the stories that we know, the stories that we know may not necessarily be true. And there are also many different versions of these stories. Now, deeper inside, we have a tomb. They are working with great effort to lift off this tomb lid and expose whoever is underneath. The one who has been running everything, the red-headed woman, her name is Elaine. She has come all this way and worked with all this effort to uncover the once and future king. As they lift off the top of this casket, exposes the skeleton wearing a crown. This is when she places the scabbard inside the tomb. With Gran and Duncan getting further down, Gran hands Duncan a gun, letting him know that at this point, she has no purpose of holding a gun to him. She is going to give a gun to him, that way he can defend himself for whatever is about to go down. Meanwhile, we are seeing that skeleton. It is rising out of its grave. Gran and Duncan realizing that they are too late. The king has begun to rise. Skin and muscle tissue, they begin to build up. We are seeing the man start to form. Reaching over to the wall, a pillar standing in the middle, he is able to reach into it and he pulls out a sword. And while we think this is sword in the stone, there are many swords that have been in many stones. So that doesn't necessarily mean that this sword is in fact Excalibur. And that also doesn't mean that there is only one Excalibur. And Excalibur is not even the only name for that sword. But as our once and future king rises up, everyone in the room, they bow down to him, going over to one of the men, grabbing his hand and slicing it open. He tastes this blood, and in tasting it, he recognizes that this is Anglo-Saxon blood, the blood of invaders, the blood of the unpure. He grabs hold of this man and he slices him in half with his sword, because King Arthur, he fought for Britain. He fought for Britain to be British. And the invaders that attacked Britain, they were Anglo-Saxon. As he cuts down all of the men in this room, the one left standing is Elaine. Tasting her blood, he knows that she is pure, that she is Britain. The thing about Elaine is Gran knows who she is. They have worked together throughout the years. Once upon a time, they had worked hand in hand as partners. Gran knowing that Elaine should know better than to do this, because making the once and future king return, that is the end of everything. The homage that she is bringing, offering King Arthur, is not only these men in front of him, the ones that he makes rise up. These are his new knights. Gawain rises up, but this is not the only thing. While Merlin is currently lost, unable to be found, Elaine says that she will be the guide, but she lets King Arthur know that she also has a Galahad, an individual that is going to lead Arthur to the Grail. Gran, recognizing that this situation has hugely escalated. This could very likely be the end of the world. As they try to sneak around this room, Duncan accidentally hits a rock. In doing so, it causes a noise. This noise catches the attention of all the undead knights. Duncan turning to Gran and asking if this is the time we begin shooting. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So for those of you that have been around the channel for a while, we have gotten pretty far into the story before I had to delete them because of copyright issues. Now I'm hoping that that's not going to be an issue. Issue 1 didn't have any problems, so we should be good moving forward. But we know what's going to happen. For those that don't, this is such an amazing and fun story, because we are diving full head into Arthurian lore. But not only that, we are exploring folklore from all across the globe. While this story is very King Arthur based, we are gonna see it open up to a whole grand world of monsters, vampires, and everything in between. This really has been one of my favorite series, and that is because of Gran. She is just such an amazing old lady who is out here smoking cigarettes, gunning down any monster that stands in her way. And Duncan, he's soft. That's because he was raised that way. He was raised not to know about these monsters. There was no reason for him to be hardened, because Gran believed that any kind of gateway that could be opened up for all of this folklore and monsters, she believed either it was taken care of or there were other hunters out there taking care of them. But this red-headed woman Elaine, she seems dead set on helping Arthur find his grail and having him take over the world. Not really understanding her true motives just yet, there is definitely a much deeper connection between her and Gran, between her and Duncan. As we get further along in this series, we're gonna explore exactly what that is. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and until the next breakdown.